Thanks so much to Squarespace for sponsoring this video. I got myself something, a brand new paper bag. Now there's something inside the bag. I'm sure there's gonna be people commenting like, oh, Beatrice, you're a consumerist. You are promoting consumerism. Honestly, I would not say you are 100% wrong, but I looked at getting a new phone as an opportunity to kind of look at what I had on my previous phone and how I was using it and see which apps do I actually want to transfer over to the new one and which apps can I say bye-bye to. I have previous phone tour videos if you're interested in those. I partly talk about the apps that I have, but also partly how I kind of try to hack the psychology of what makes phones addicting. Okay, now we are going to do a surgery and perform a SIM transplant. This has never been done before. Let's see how this goes. So it recognized my face, that's super cool. While I appreciate how easy they make it to transfer everything from your old phone to your new one, these widgets are just not working, these shortcuts are not working, and also I just feel like I wanted a fresh start. I wanted to redesign my home screen. So I'm just gonna get rid of everything. Okay, so the first thing I wanna do is go into each of these categories and delete stuff, if applicable. Why do I have so many voicemails? How do I mark them as read? There we go. I'm trying to learn TikTok and understand it. It is definitely not addicting to me at the moment because my For You page has absolutely no idea what I'm interested in, and so it shows me like videos about surgeries, like medical information kind of videos. There are a lot of apps in this category.
I don't know. I really don't know.
Oh, I don't use Trello anymore. I totally forgot. The travel category is apps that I use once in a while. These are apps that are super useful when I'm traveling, not when I'm at home. But because I have this app library, they stay nice and hidden away when I don't need them. And so I don't mind keeping them on my phone. They don't take up much storage. They'll come in handy eventually. Ooh, yeah, I have not run in a while. This app I did not enjoy. Juegos! Oh my gosh, what games do I have? Haven't played Among Us since it was trendy. Just Dance is fun. I still do that. 2048 is a good game for the brain. Also, this background is depressing. I don't know why I set storm clouds as my background. Let's see. This is pretty. Okay, we're doing this. Alrighty, there we go. So then, what widgets do I want on here? Let us think. Can do this. Okay, do we do a big one? Yeah, we have room. Okay, then apps. So then in the dock, let's put the camera, the photos, oh my gosh, wait, that's not the time tracking app that I use anymore. Yeah, let's put these in the home, or the dock thingy, and then leave those two up there. Oh look, here's another app you should download. Thank you so much to Squarespace for sponsoring this video. Squarespace is the best place to create your website, start a blog, start an online store, anything you want to do online, establish your online presence. I usually show you guys the computer version, but it's also simple and easy to use that you can pretty much do anything you need in the app as well. Whether you want to write a blog post on the go, add a button to a page, or update your about page because you noticed that a number was wrong. You've got your analytics tab. You can get notifications on how those are changing on a day-to-day basis. You've got your e-commerce tab to keep track of how your products are selling. It's where I've hosted the Bliss Bean for almost 4 years now because I have minimal coding knowledge and I can build my website on Squarespace with just drag and drop blocks. So if you want to make your own website, head to Squarespace for a free trial and then use my code TheBlissBean for 10% off your first purchase of a website or a domain. Now, let's take a look at my tips for having a better relationship with your phone. I would say the main philosophy that I try to apply to my technology is that it shouldn't necessarily be easy to use. So as I'm organizing my apps, my thought is not how do I make all of this super easy to access, but rather how do I make the important non-distracting things easy to access on the first page of apps, and then how do I just hide everything else away in the app library so that apps like Instagram, for example, actually take a couple of apps to get to. A couple of taps, not a couple of apps. Secondly, I try to keep in mind that a lot of the apps I might want to have on my phone are things that I can access on my computer. So for example, I do have Instagram on my phone because I'm pretty sure you can't upload stories from the web version of Instagram, and if you could, it would be a huge hassle. But so having Instagram on my phone is totally worth it. However, for something like Twitter, I'm kind of trying to get into tweeting, but I don't do it enough, and I find Twitter to be so distracting that it just brings no additional benefit for me to have it on my phone. Therefore, if I want to tweet something, I can just go to the web version. Try to be really strict with notifications. So that just involves a lot of customization and going through all of the apps and deciding, is this information actually helpful? Would I want my phone, my watch, whatever, to actually buzz me and distract me while I am working to let me know about something? So for a lot of apps, this is either a yes or a no. For Instagram, no, I do not want any notifications. I just can't imagine any notification that Instagram might send that would be important enough for me to want a notification. I have this other app that sends me affirmations throughout the day, so that one is allowed to send me notifications. There are other apps, however, that are sort of a mixed bag. So for example, text messages. I usually do allow text messages, but I will mute certain conversations if a group chat is getting a little too spammy. But I think it really just comes down to you deciding every single time you get a notification, is this something that I want to continue getting, or should I take the 10 seconds that it'll take to go into the settings app and turn these off so that I don't get these anymore in the future. Something that I used to do that I don't really do anymore is I used to have a triple click home button shortcut that would set my phone to grayscale. That makes your phone way less engaging, and it's very easy to revert back if you're watching a video or editing a photo or something like that where you need to see the colors. Obviously this new phone does not have a home button, so I'm not entirely sure how you would configure that, but I'm sure that if you go into the accessibility section of the settings app, you can find a way. Finally, I think a popular feature when it comes to mindful phone use and whatnot is those app limits that you can set on particular apps or categories of apps. If that works for you, more power to you, but in my experience, I have found that if I am in a good mental health place and I have removed the most distracting apps from my phone, I have taken care to reduce notifications and all that good stuff, I just do not really get stuck scrolling on my phone. I don't get sucked in. However, if I am in a bad mental health place and I really want to scroll, those app limits stand absolutely no chance against me. So I just found that they were not useful to me, but that is something that you might want to implement as you're experimenting with your phone. I just realized that one of the things I can use my old phone for is as a monitor for my camera, because sometimes I want to film, for example, a B-roll shot where I'm doing something on my phone, but I also want to make sure that the shot looks good, but I can't do that at the same time. What I wanted to show you actually, the reason I came over to my bed here for a change of background, is just a little example of how I use my phone on the day-to-day. So obviously some of the apps get switched around. I try new apps, I stop using older apps, but like the core foundation of the most basic apps that I always use, let's imagine that it is morning and I have just woken up. Usually the first app that I go to is Spotify. I don't know why I'm showing you because I'm gonna put it on the screen next to me anyways. So I use Spotify to make playlists for every single month. I've been doing this for over 4 years now. So I'll either go to that or I'll just shuffle all of my liked songs. During breakfast, I like to listen to a podcast, and that is pretty much it for the morning. Throughout the day, probably the apps that I use the most would be my habit tracker, and I had another bottle of water, and then my time tracker, and that is correct. I am currently shooting a video. I do love using Apple Calendar, iCal, so it's really nice to have it on my phone, but usually I do reference it on my computer, and sometimes I use Apple Notes, but again, I also usually use it on my computer, so that's it. And then I think the most heavy app usage of mine is in the evening. So in the evening, I check in on a bunch of apps. Okay, yeah, so I check the time tracking app. I also check my to-do list on my computer. I look at the bank app to update my budget. I update my period tracking app with any symptoms. I update my day one journal, so usually I type out an entry on my computer, but then I add photos and stuff to it on my phone because that's easier. And yeah, I think that's it. That's like the daily usage of my most essential apps. Of course, I use the other apps as well, but not as consistently. So I'm very excited to play around with this some more. I am especially excited about this wide angle camera. Hello! That is so weird. There's my dirty socks. Yeah, I need to clean up. So yeah, I'm very excited to play around with it. I hope that this video was helpful in some way, that you got some actionable tips for how to make your phone more of a tool and less of a distraction. Let me know in the comments if you have any tips or tricks for managing your relationship with your phone, or if you have any favorite useful apps or anything like that, or if you just want to say anything, feel free to do that. You can also check out my other videos on topics like digital minimalism over here. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please give it a like and subscribe to my channel before you go, and I will see you next week. Bye!